Hello and welcome back to Camp Sue. Today we have a pick-a-pile for the weekly energy reading, the forecast. So there's pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and within each of these piles I've picked 2 cards from each of the prototype decks for the Life Mastery Oracle. So I will put the timestamps down below so you can either pause the video to decide which pile you'd like, or just watch all of them. So let's start with pile 1. And I'll put pile 2 and 3 right there. Okay. All right, pile 1, welcome. So this week, the first cards, I think I picked these first, so let's go here. With these 2. So this is going to be the shadow of the week. The issues and things like that that we need to be, that are coming up. So there's change. There's, it feels like somebody is leaving, almost like walking away. And you feel, but they're not walking away from you, they're just kind of taking care of business. And it just kind of feels like they're dumping you, but they're not really. Just really pull yourself back and take some deep breaths. It's also like some of you may not be showing up for yourself. And that's what the self-abandonment card here means. It's, say you're stuck here in the rocks. So it's almost like a fear of just stepping out, like a fear of success it feels like. And there's like a change of the seasons. Like, so we've just coming into spring, we're going into summer. So around that time, be very aware of just what your emotions are doing. I'm hearing a phrase, this too shall pass. And if you're on the other side of the world watching this, I think you're going to be going from fall into your winter. So that's like kind of a time for you guys to kind of hunker down, because that's what I do over on this side of the world, is I just kind of hunker down and I really attend to my inner workings. So really work with that with yourself. Okay, so the next 2 cards out of the deck are for my first prototype. All right. Oh, and you got 2 cards that. All right, so there's lots of worry, it seems, and this is messages from your higher self. Worry around family. This is the family card. This isn't in the final deck that I'm putting together. And this is like putting too much worry into things, like it's just a drop in the bucket. It's like you're carrying this bucket of worry and tears. Let that bucket go. Like there's no need to carry that around. Like the family baggage, it's like this comic thing that just, this theme, this dysfunction maybe that's kind of going through, and it's really affecting how you think and feel. The next 2 cards are from the final deck. So through all of this, this is the message from your guides, spirits, masters, beings of love and light. You're going to have some challenges here. So see, you get some worry. You're feeling like nobody's there for you. There's a saying about creating. Oh, what's the saying? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's kind of like when you say something and then it happens. It's like you're creating it, but there's a phrase for it, and it's escaping me. But allow people to just be people and to do their thing, and forgive yourself for worrying, because a lot of times we worry because we feel like we're out of control. We don't have any control over something or someone. And you got to let that go. You got to let these people go and do their thing, because that's their spiritual path, their spiritual journey. It's not yours. So allow people to make the mistakes, because it's not up to us to fix them. We can be there to support them, like a family support, but it's not up to us to fix that. So that's where the change feels like. If you've interjected yourself into family or into situations where you feel that you know best, step back and allow people to live their lives, to create their own mistakes, their own solutions, and to experience life, because that's what we've all come here to do. Okay, thank you, pile number one. Thank you. It's all going to work out fine. See if I can feel anything from this. I just keep hearing this too shall pass and not to hold on. I think I gave the analogy last week about the leaves letting go of their leaves. You know, they don't hang on to it. So you've planted a seed, you've allowed something to grow, so now let it go. Like even a thought or an idea. You may have planted a seed, maybe it's a business that you got going on here, and you're worrying about choices and decisions that you've made, and it just feels like you're floating and floundering all alone. Just have faith and courage, keep to it, keep walking up those steps. You might have obstacles in the way, but you'll be able to get by with a bit of, see, we get lots of suns, 3 suns. So with a little bit of persistence in continuing, it'll all work out just fine. Namaste, pile one. Thank you, thank you. Please like and subscribe, share. It helps the algorithms so that more people get to see the messages. Okay, so this is pile number 2. Welcome, pile number 2. So we've got 3 decks. These are the first ones I picked. So let's see what the message is about our shadow for this week. Okay, so keep an eye on your ego. Sometimes we get a little bit full of ourselves. So this feels like in this, say you feel that you're spiritual. And I've seen this a lot. I'm even guilty of it myself. And it's something that I really work on. But say you have, like you're learning something and you feel like you've elevated to a new level. And you almost feel like you're a little bit better than somebody else. Just kind of reel that in and watch that. Watch how your judgment goes. Are you really... this almost feels like defending... All right, how can I explain this? All right, so say sometimes like you're in a group, right? A group situation. And then you have someone, like an outsider, that comes in and tries to like tell you something different than what the group thinks. It's like this group consciousness, okay? It's these 2 cards together are asking you to like step outside of the group consciousness. Because a lot of times you start to talk in a echo chamber. You're not really talking to anybody. You're just kind of repeating the same words over and over again. And it's almost like in a way to try to gain approval from somebody or something, putting something outside of yourself. And you have that blue pearl within you. You're just as good as everyone else. So on one note, this here could be for people that feel a little bit too full of themselves and bragging and boasting, that kind of thing. But it also feels like people that just don't feel that they're worthy, that they're good enough. Okay, so let me tell you right here, you're good enough. And those of you that are listening to this, if you do feel that your ego is getting a little bit too stretched, reel it back in. Just remember, not everybody thinks the same way that you do. We're all different and unique. Okay, so here we have the message from your higher self. So the message from your higher self. You got 2 different cards. The first group got 2 different cards too. Because I have all the same cards pretty much in all the decks, but then I shifted them up because I have so many cards painted. This is the card of the trickster, the dragon. And this here is the card of a chickadee, the Massachusetts state bird. And the chickadee is here to give you a message about some trickster. So just not everything is as great as it may seem. Be cautious of what someone's trying to tell you. Like, be wary of some manipulation. But there is a message coming in for pile 2. And you will get those messages through songs. If you walk out in nature. But just be careful about what someone's saying. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. All right, so this is the message from the guides, masters, beings of love and light. All right. Oh, interesting. When I was shuffling these cards, this card jumped out. So I was wondering which pile was going to get it. So it's pile 2. So okay, so there's this trickster here, and you got this gossip, which is the talking card. So it's telling you to be really careful about what you say. Like not telling someone too much about what you're doing, because that takes the power away. And it also opens someone up to take something from you. Like say a squirrel, right? So the trickster's the squirrel. He has a bucket of nuts. And this, the dragon's the trickster. And the squirrel has some nuts. And the trickster says, hey, I'll give you this big, huge bucket of nuts if you give me that little bucket of nuts. So the squirrel goes, sure, and gives the trickster dragon the bucket of nuts. And then the bucket of nuts, the squirrel goes off. And the trickster had put something in, like rocks, a cardboard, and then just a few nuts. So the trickster got away. So be mindful of somebody that's coming to try to trick you and take something away from you. There is going to be a breakthrough here. So this is some kind of transformation, a big, huge change, because there is some kind of an awareness. So now looking at all of these cards, these two are really awesome cards because this here is the supreme consciousness. Oneness, where everything is connected. I think of Hare Krishnas when I see this card, and I believe that's what I was thinking of when I painted this one. But it's really the all-knowing, and keeping your ego in check so that you can be mindful of the trickster. Because sometimes someone can come and flatter you, and then it could end up being trickery, where their intentions are not pure. So just follow your instincts, your gut. Be aware of what's around and who has access to you. Just keep feeling, keep that ego in check. Mind your emotions. If someone is projecting their crap on you, just know it's their crap and it's not yours. Where they might try to manipulate you into believing that it is yours. Ignore the gossip. That's just people that are jealous of you. But there is a huge breakthrough for your group too, of self-realization and understanding the deeper meaning of who you are, being able to see through the BS. This here is the spring card too. So those down under, on the other side of the world from me, that are heading into winter, come springtime, things will even out a bit for you. And here, come winter time for those on this side of the world, things can even out. So it feels a little bit chaotic. Be patient with yourself and give yourself some time. Okay, Namaste, and thank you, Group 2. Thank you for your comments, liking, subscribing, sharing. Leaving comments, liking, subscribing, sharing. That really helps the algorithms. Okay, welcome, Pile 3. Thank you for stopping by. So the first two cards here we have are the shadow. And the shadow is judgment. So it's kind of like judging yourself a lot about your changes, your transformation. You just feel like you need to be there a little bit faster. You're comparing yourself to others, which is keeping you from being happy. You have so much going for you. See this big golden staircase. And there's a big, there's something waiting for you at the top that is big and grand, a great, huge offer. But it's just worrying too much about what other people are thinking and saying or what they might say. Live for you and ignore the others. Step into that transformation, into that change. The message now here from the higher self. All right. So we got loss, which is a waterfall. It's like, watch your money. It's being a little bit off balance. Like, just because you're feeling sad or bad, don't go out and spend too much money to try to make yourself feel better. And Norbert's agreeing, okay? All right. Hey, shh, shh. All right, so now we have this balance with finances. Because there was some kind of big change. This could be even somebody that lost a job, financial loss. And you're really off kilter, not sure what to do, which direction to go. Let's see what the spirits, masters, beings of love and light have to say. Keep control of your emotions through the loss. I know it's really difficult. And it can create a lot of fear because you're just not sure which direction you're going to go or, how you're going to survive. If you can do your best to pull yourself out of that kind of thinking. Here, see how that's really sad? Because this is all part of the change, the big awakening, the transformation. And when we have strong emotions, anything that we feed with strong emotions and just with the pure intensity, where it's just you put your whole heart and soul into it, that's the recipe to create, to manifest. So even, this was out of your control, the loss. What is in your control is your emotions, how you respond, how you manage that. That's part of the big test, the big change you're putting yourself through. Your higher self is guiding you through that. So if you can, there's always seems like there's no way. You feel like there's just one big obstacle. Well, there's definitely a way out. There's other way out, other ways to get over to the promised land here. You can maybe take some of these sticks, make a little boat or something and sail over there, go around. Looks like there's a little trail, but it's harder. It's a harder trail, but you can make it. You don't really need to have it all easy. Sometimes the greatest lessons are those when we put ourselves out into the world and we just go for something that we really, really want. But there's, through this loss, you might feel badly about yourself. And in fact, I know you do. And I just want to let you know that things will work out, that you will be rebalanced, that times like this don't last forever, just as good times don't last forever. So that's why we really need to pay attention to those when we're experiencing them. The best course of action for you is try to unplug the best that you can, to sit quietly if possible, or do some moving meditations, walking in the nature, just observing the different animals and what you do see. And then sometimes what you could do too is if, say, you see a certain kind of bird or you find a bird feather, look that up. Look what the spiritual meaning is for that you had seen or found, because often that's given you a message from spirit, the universe, your higher self. That's how you can get messages, and it's just being aware of that. So this too shall pass, folks. Nothing lasts forever. You're just going through your awakening, through a change. Hold on to your emotions. Meditate if you can, even if you can just go walking out in nature. With that, I say namaste, and thank you for watching, subscribing, liking.